mold release agent. That's that one. Now I will let the base out of its mold. Again, I start by scraping off the clay that I have around the seams that I use to seal the thing. I use the clay so that the plaster won't leak out. You can see already, it takes forever to do. You've got to repeat this probably another 40 times. So it's a little bit, I don't know, the whole project is absurd. It doesn't make a bit of sense. I mean, really looking at it, I mean, you know, I love it, don't get me wrong. It's one of my favorite gigs ever. But it's just impractical. Because keep in mind, I'm doing this for something that's built to be broken. The stage life of this thing is like 5 minutes. It goes on stage for 5 minutes and then it's a powder of dust, you know? Powder of dust, pile of powder, powdered donut. I don't know what it is. It's just a mess. The whole thing is a mess. It takes me forever to do it. I just came in not too long ago, but last night or whatever, yesterday, all days are sort of blended into one at this point. I was here for like, I don't know, about 30 hours, I would say, roughly. Plaster, mother mold comes off, then I peel off the silicone mold here. See that? And this is the base of the skull. So you see the teeth and everything in there. I'm going to pull the back of it off. ends up on this thing like this. This is all silicone in here. So I'm hoping to actually get more work doing stuff like this. I've done, you know, you can see from the previous videos, I've done all kinds of mask making and, you know, different animation and video stuff. But I've also done some special effects on a horror short a while ago. That was mostly like makeup and blood stuff, but I'm kind of interested in doing like more complicated prosthetic appliances and things, or you know, specialty prop kind of stuff like this. So I'm using now the tongue depressor as like a little prying instrument. And sometimes plaster's kind of fickle, so sometimes when it's mixed, it's you know, it's like perfect and this thing comes off without any problems. Sometimes when I start to pry this up, the brain is not in a perfect shape down like this. The brain kind of expands outward right about here. So in order for me to pull this up, the silicone inside of it has to be squeezed in as this thing comes off. Sometimes that works out fine and they come off without a problem. Sometimes as I'm pulling this up, the plaster's not strong enough to press the silicone inside of this inward, so it kind of breaks, and again, I don't care. I'll just glue it back together. If I were doing this for, you know, a different project where it had to be like an extreme camera, close-up, you know, macro, we're going to go over this every centimeter of this skull sort of thing, I might have made this thing differently. But for right now, for theater, where the audience is 15 feet away, I think it's fine. So I use these to just sort of loosen this up and get some air between the plaster and the silicone, and then I pull this up like that. Yeah, and you got a little bit of a break back here, but nothing huge. Actually, every one of them breaks right there, and that's why if I were to do this again, I would have moved these dowels. Instead of putting the dowel down here in the mold, I would have moved the dowel up here to right on the seam of the mold, and I think I wouldn't have had that problem, because then I could just sort of take the thing apart like this instead of having to worry about this having like any kind of strength. Hey, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm making a documentary of myself doing this.
I know, I saw your Facebook thing.
Oh, yeah? You
were going to do a time-lapse thing coming up.
Yeah.
I'm totally interfering with it, though.
No, it's totally fine.
Looked cool, didn't it? Opening, that was the first time I saw it. I'm sure you've seen it before.
Oh, yeah. They look great.
Awesome.
They look great. They come out, they behave exactly like I want them to.
Got you here.
I'm talking to Raj. Raj is the technical director. He built the set and all of that stuff downstairs for the show. And this is YouTube. You're talking to YouTube. Which means the world, because everybody comes to my channel.
Is this live?
No, I'm just recording.
Oh, okay. Like, wow, that's kind of impressive.
No. But I think I can pause for a moment.
That'd be good.
I'll be back in a second.